But I was raised in a family. My father had an advertising agency, and I watched him build this ad agency from a small Tampa-based agency to the largest ad agency in the state of Florida in my high school years. He won the Florida lottery account when the lottery was just coming to the state of Florida.
Wow.
So overnight, he had offices in Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Miami, and I soaked it up. I mean, it, they would have called it interning now, but I was there whenever I could, even in high school. So I'd hang out with the creative department, the account department, the media
Sure.
department, and and then they would help me because they thought it was cool that this kid was hanging around. They would help me market my shows that I was in the band. So I remember there was a battle of the bands.
Free advertising.
Oh man, but it was really cool. I remember I had this big battle of the bands competition at my high school, and I go to my dad. I say, I need to put some, flyers around campus. And
Right.
he's like, flyers, come in Saturday. So they made this big canvas, and I always remember it. It said, "This is it." It was huge, and then very small it said, "Red Silk Battle of the Bands." That was our band name. And I remember telling my dad, like, "Red Silk needs to be bigger." And he's like, "No, dude. People will walk up to it if it says, 'This is it.'" And I didn't get it at the time, but it worked. We won that
Sure.
battle of bands. And so to go all the way back, I've just been raised with this DNA of advertising, marketing, and music. Yeah, so many industries were impacted when COVID hit, and it was about a year ago right now. I remember the
Right.
team went remote on the 13th of March last year, and when it
Right.
really was like, this is real. And I remember going back to this upbringing in advertising. I'm really close with my dad, and mostly we talk business. After the grandkids, we just love talking advertising and business. But he called me. It was the first time where he was not as spot on as he's always had been, because I was like, "Dad, this is serious." He goes,
Mm.
"But it's gonna blow over." I go, "It may, but I am in the music festival on cruise ships business."
Right.
Right? That's his, look at that photo behind me. There's not a lot of social distancing going on
Right.
on
Right.
school days.
Well, and then you also have those relationships with the captain and the staff that make it easier, especially if you're doing back to back.
It's huge. I mean, the ship crew, they work so hard. I think they love it when we come on because, we kind of make
It's
them use
different
their
for
left
them.
hand a little bit. It's a little
Right.
different, and it's really
Right.
exciting. It's not uncommon for the ship's crew to really lean into the concept. And I've seen captains paint their face like Kiss. We bring the band up to the bridge and they get to see the experience, and it's something really exciting for them. And then they just super serve our guests because Sixthman may only bring about 100 people on board when we execute, but the Norwegian Pearl will be sailing with almost 1,000 crew. So our guests are really interacting mostly with the Norwegian crew, not the Sixthman crew.
Right.
And they more than exceed the expectations that we're hoping they would with the guests.
And what's a typical size group, or a full ship charter?
Yeah, so if it's a fan base where it's more of a couples, right? We do a great blues event with Joe Bonamassa, and it tends to be couples. So you can get two people in a cabin mostly, and that's about 2,200, 2,300 guests.
Okay.
We also do some events with bands like Paramore, Kesha, 311, where it's a younger fan. They're not all about just being in the cabin. They want to be out and really enjoy the experience. And they'll put 3 and 4 people in a cabin, and we can get to 3,000 guests at a
Gotcha.
capacity. So about 2,200 to 3,000 is the range. What I really learned was, and I'd say learned it the hard way, because our culture is also, um, it's a culture of ask, listen, and act. We ask the team for a lot of their feedback.
Hmm.
We're held accountable as a leadership team to listen and act. We have something called Ask Sixthman. It's an anonymous email that anybody can send anytime, and it just goes to the leadership team. And it gets real. I mean, they hold us accountable to living up to those 7 steps of special. So when we went from 12 events in 2018 to 19 events in 2019, and it wasn't just those extra events, we were learning and cracking Europe and learning and cracking resorts. We grew too fast and we didn't staff up quickly enough, Our orientation for those we did bring on wasn't deep enough, and a lot fell on the shoulders of our team. And they let us know. And we had some real serious moments. We had a town hall where it was a ask me anything, and the leadership team dug into it. And then coming out of that town hall, we made a pact. I wrote a pact and signed it saying, we are going to do these things for you, for this organization, based on your feedback. And we were just putting that pact into place in first quarter of 2020, and then the world shut down.
Right.
So yeah, the biggest learning moment for me is as we scale the company, never forgetting that it starts with the team. One unique thing about our company structure is we don't just build it in the office. Our team then goes at sea and executes it. So it's not, to use the theme park example, as a CMO of a theme park, you do all the work and the planning and the execution, and you fill the theme park. But then we go to the theme park and are high-fiving the guests when they get on the roller coasters.
Right.
So, which has been really good to understand the guest in a much deeper level. Now I'm working, how do I scale that, right? Because we're getting up there in event numbers, and we're trying to figure out, well, our team can't be on 20 events a year. It's getting tricky. At the end of the day, and they're long days out there. I mean, it's 6A to 3A, depending on what's going on. At the end of the day, so much bizarre stuff has gone on that you almost forget it by the next day or the next cruise. Right. And if you think about it, we've got high octane personalities. We've got very passionate guests. You've got a ship that's clipping through the Caribbean, don't forget, right? There's weather. We have a full festival stage on that pool deck. We're running 7 stages, sometimes have 30 bands going on. What can go wrong will go wrong.
Right.
We try and have plan A, B, and C, but we get to plan Z real quick.
Sure.
So there isn't any one. I would answer the question. Yeah, I probably could write a book later in my career on the crazy stuff that's happened out there. I have to wait till then because.
Yes, right.
And we've even been approached by a lot of television show producers that want to follow the stories out there, and
it'd be great. It would be a great reality show.
It would be great TV, I can tell you that, but it's just not the DNA kind of
that's right.
What we want to do. I mean, I think there is a story to be told with the fan journey and the interaction with artists, and that would be a great story. But there's some pretty high drama on the high seas out there, and that makes it fun. After doing 80 of them, I have seen a lot, but I know when I go do my 81st one, a new thing will pop up, and I think, how could there be a new curveball?
Right.
There just always is. So.